Hello everybody! So we have a spotlight on a Cattleya, which means it has a Brassavola parent or lineage. And this is the Brassavola Cattleya yellowbird, a yellow Nodosa hybrid. Okay, so I got this as an orchid bag baby from the hardware store. And uh, this one has a very well-known parent, which is the Brassavola Nodosa. This is a cross between Nodosa and Richard Mueller, and Richard Mueller is a primary hybrid of Nodosa and Muelleri, Cattleya Muelleri. So it has a lot of Nodosa in it. So its grandparent is a Nodosa, and then its parent is a Nodosa. Right, so it's a back cross. It's what you call a back cross to a species. And what's so interesting about this is that the flowers start out as a pink blush, especially on the petals. They look pink, but once it matures, the petals actually turns yellow. And as you could see here, this one is an older flower. It's much more yellow than the newer one here, which still has some peach tones in it. So there's still some pink actually if you see it in person, and actually compare it side by side. Yeah, so there you go. So you would see there are spots on its lip, and you might not know this, but actually it's an inherited trait of this plant from its Nodosa plant. And it's a recessive trait, so you don't really actually see it in its Nodosa parent. It's a bit weird, right? Yeah. And but aside from the recessive trait, it also got a dominant trait that it got from the Nodosa, which is its fragrance. It smells like the Nodosa parent. It has a scent during the night, because naturally Nodosa have moths that come out during the night to pollinate it. That's why it is fragrant at night. Alright, so what else? So I mounted this plant here on a wood plank, and with some moss and fishing line, so I would be able to mount it nicely, and it's really growing well. So I watered this by having this plank sitting in water, and that's pretty much it. And then I let it dry, because typically they actually like it a little bit on the drier side, and then they like to be drenched when you water them. Just make sure it dries out quickly. So the spots are reddish, magenta, hard to describe, but it's randomly spotted, and that's pretty much it. It does have the star-shaped petals that you would see from its Nodosa parent. If you would look into my old videos, I have another Brassavola hybrid, which is the Brassavola Little Stars, and it looks like this, but the flowers on this one are bigger. Alright, so how do I take care of this? Basically, same Cattleya culture requirements, it does require a little bit of light, and that's pretty much it. Expose it to as high humidity as possible, but I don't think it would be a really big problem. So that's my Cattleya japonica right out there, and I pollinated it, as you can see, with some pollen from Stewartiana, and I think it's catching on. It's turning into a seed pod, so that's exciting. And then that's my yellow phalaenopsis hybrid there, and this is my Zygopetalum, which is still in bloom. As you could see, with low humidity, you could see the petals and sepals on this one curl down. They're curling. So I would suspect because I'm exposing it to very low humidity, but that's fine. Still, like, I'm not really much into the petals on this one. I'm much more on the lip. I really like the lip on this one, and the indigo magenta color. All right, so yeah, there you go. So watch out for the time-lapse video of this one, wherein you would see the transition from pink blush of the petals to yellow, this guy. So don't be surprised if you see pictures of this guy, especially when they're newly open, wherein they look blush, pink blush, and then eventually they turn, because eventually they will turn yellow when they get older. Alright, and I heard the flowers on this one last very long, so for more than a month, just as long as you supply them with the enough moisture on their roots. Don't let them dry out too much. And what I've noticed with this plant is it's a very vigorous grower compared to the just the, for example, the little stars. And the leaves on this one are bigger and longer and wider. So it really does look like a Brassavola, but it's much more of a vigorous grower. And I've heard that H&R nurseries bred this to be tetraploid. So pretty much all of the ones, the clones of the Brassavola yellow stars, or yellowbird, sorry, is tetraploid. Tetraploid plant. So tetraploid meaning usually they would have larger flowers and longer lasting flowers. Alright, so thank you for watching my video, and hope you subscribe and like the videos, and happy growing to my friends out there. Enjoy your orchids.